One thing I commonly see or hear from people who can't sleep is while they are sitting down watching the TV at night in the living room or having dinner, they doze off or even fall asleep for a short period of time. But as soon as they enter their bedrooms, lie on the bed and try to sleep, the sleep disappears. Why does that happen? And do you need sleeping pill to resolve this? Or can it be solved naturally? These and many more are the things I help people solve through my videos, and I do them in a stepwise fashion, one tip at a time. I have been in this business of helping people fall asleep for a while. In case you're stumbling on this channel for the very first time, welcome. This is Brain Gist. This is a channel where I educate people about the brain and its disorders and everything that has to do with it. And sleep is part of the content of this channel because sleep is a phenomenon of the brain, by the brain, and for the brain. So welcome to Brain Gist. Please consider subscribing, and if you do, turn on your notifications so you can be one of the first people to know when I release contents. And the contents usually are very educational and enlightening. So of course, I like to see your comments. Please share, and that's it. So the content of today's video has to do with addressing this common concern which I encounter very, very frequently in the clinic. When somebody who's had insomnia for quite a while, this is the sort of people I see in the clinic in insomnia. Some of them have had it for a short period of time, but some of them have had it for a significant amount of time. I remember a lady who actually had it for maybe since COVID time. I think that would be around 2020. That's about 4 or 5 years. And through practical and implementable, solutions, we were able to resolve it. And now she sleeps really well without any sleeping aid. But one thing that is common to many of these patients that you who's watching this video might also be experiencing, or you might know somebody who's experiencing it, is the fact that they sit down with you in the living room, you're watching TV together, you're having dinner together, you're chatting, or they're surfing on their phone on the internet, and then they drift off, they doze off. But then as soon as you say, okay, good night, and they enter their bedrooms, sleep evades them or eludes them. So what is responsible for that? Now, I'm going to be, explaining it in two ways, and there will be two videos to explain it, but today I'll be focusing on just one aspect, and the second aspect will be in the next video. So today I want to talk about the concept of, dozing off just before bedtime. Now, why does this happen? Now, in these individuals who perpetually have trouble sleeping, so they sleep very poorly virtually every night, and as a result, they have a high sleep debt. I've explained the concept of sleep debt in my previous video, so you can refer to it and understand it. Very briefly, your sleep debt refers to how much sleep you're owing. So someone who sleeps 7 hours of refreshing sleep every night probably owes very little. But a lot of insomnia patients, because they sleep very little in comparison to what their brains need, they have a high sleep debt. So therefore, the sleep pressure is high, especially as nighttime approaches. So, and because of that sleep pressure, they nod off or doze off before bedtime. And then when they get in eventually to sleep, it evades them. So now, why does this happen? The reason it happens is because I will give you this illustration. You are visiting a friend, and this friend of yours knows you well, knows the kind of delicacies you like to eat, and they are off to the kitchen preparing this delicacy. And just 20 minutes before they finished all of the preparation, you feel, oh, I'm so hungry right now, I can't wait anymore. And somebody offers you a little snack, maybe garlic bread and some jam and Coca-Cola, and you decide to take this snack 20 minutes before the delicacy is completed. So eventually when the delicacy is served, you realize that you'd only be able to eat very little. Why is that? Because you took this snack just before the actual meal is served. And that is what some of us subconsciously do. When you allow that overpowering urge to sleep to overcome you, and you're nod off very close to bedtime, what happens is you've just punctured that sleep debt, that high sleep pressure that would have actually helped you to tilt you into sleep when you eventually lie on your bed. You've just punctured it, and therefore that urge to sleep, that pressure to sleep is reduced, and when you get to bed, you'll be unable to sleep. So you've just diminished that thing that should have helped you fall asleep, because we talked about it earlier that the sleep debt leads to increased sleep pressure. The longer you've been awake, the higher the sleep pressure and the sleep drive that will help you initiate sleep and stay asleep when you go to bed eventually. So this pressure continues to build throughout the day, and it reaches its peak towards bedtime, towards evening. And when you yield to that pressure to nod off, what you've just done is you've punctured that sleep drive, and then eventually when you get to bed, you may start struggling to find sleep again. So this is just one explanation. And then the second explanation I'm going to give it in the next video. So what should you do with this piece of information in this video today? What you should do is to resist as much as possible that nodding of pressure. Some people feel, I know when I get to bed I may not sleep, let me just go with the wave now because I'm feeling so sleepy, let me just nod off. No, do not do that. Wait until it's bedtime. If you're feeling that pressure to doze off, you can stand up, do something else, but don't take coffee. You can take a walk and then reserve your sleep till nighttime. So it's it's a very terrible thing to do, to doze off within 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours from bedtime. If you're going to nap, it should be in the afternoon, early in the afternoon. Anything from 3, 4, 5 hours to bedtime, it will be a terrible thing to do, to doze off. I know someone who is very close to me who had this problem, and I actually helped them resolve this sleep problem they've had for many years. And we just implemented these simple strategies. I observed that for them, usually towards bedtime around 9 p.m., just before they go to bed, they doze off, watching TV. And the first thing I had to go was we removed that. And that was, that contributed immensely to their sleep recovery. So thanks for watching today. I believe you learned something new which can potentially help you improve your sleep. So implement this and let me know in the comment section how it helps you, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you again in my next video when I'll be discussing the other aspects of the things that make people unable to sleep when they get to bed, but they find it very comfortable falling asleep in other environments. Bye for now.